body, it's the facts we bring, yeah. Whoa, yeah. Whoa, Uncles ting, tis an uncle's ting. Pull up on the body, it's the facts we bring, yeah. Whoa, yeah. Whoa.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Uncles episode 93. Today I've got a really good friend of mine actually, Jono Kent. He's in the building today. He's someone that I've met through my footy circles, but someone that was born and raised here in Brisbane, has PNG background, PNG heritage. I met him when we were playing footy. He is known to everyone as a bit of a larrikin, but when you really get to know Jono himself, he's very down to earth and he's just a great bloke. So, Jono, how are you, bro?
Good, brother. That's a lot kinder than you need to be, I think. Thank you, bro.
Thank you for joining us today. It's so funny. I've been thinking back to, all the guys that I've had on, whether, they're mates from footy or mates from school. And you're definitely one of those guys where we shared a few moments together, whether it was, in PNG or in Hong Kong playing for the Pukpuks. So I'm really excited to get into this one because it's always funny when you speak to someone like, I sort of know you, but I don't really know you. So I'm keen to, figure out where it all began for you. But like we always do on the Uncles, we always start with the word of the week. And that's usually something, it's either a feeling or something that popped up in the last week. What is your word of the week?
My word of the week is balance. Yeah, so that's a funny one, little anecdotal one for you guys is I got terrible balance. I've just noticed I'm recovering from a torn hamstring and trying to do a one-legged RDL on my right leg. I've been struggling, so it's been pretty funny. But the real reason is because I think we'll touch on it later, just with work and a family. And I went back and started playing footy again. Just trying to juggle all those things and, be a present father and husband, as well as sort of trying to enjoy it while we can, So
Yeah, that's a great word because a couple of weeks ago when I did a episode with Jackman, I talked about routine, and that was my word of the week then. The importance of routine, and it ties nicely into balance because you need to be balanced and have a good routine, and then everything sort of works out. I feel like when stuff starts to go wrong for myself, it's usually because one of those two are like out a bit. So yeah, that's a great word. Bro, let's kickstart the episode. We always start off with where were you born and raised? For you, what was that? Where were you born and raised?
Yeah, I was very privileged. My father is from Australia, from Brisbane, and my mother's from Central Province, from Hamilwara, and very proud woman. And Dad and her met when they were about 21 or something like that, I think. And Mum ended up moving over here after they got married in PNG, which was really cool. He had all his friends go over there, and then they moved over in time for my eldest brother to be born. So, yeah, I was born in Brisbane, raised in the Gap, God's country. So, shout out Gap, Gap for a 6-1. And if you guys know Brisbane, it's not a bad spot. So I've been very privileged, very blessed with where I've grown up and with my mother and father and my 3 older brothers. So yeah, I just went to the local state school for primary school. I went to Morris College Ashgrove. Had a lot of fun there. Met a lot of good mates. Played all sports. So yeah, I've been very blessed, mate.
What was your childhood like? You said there you've got 3 older brothers, so I can imagine, the household would have been buzzing and firing, and your mum would have been like, what's going on?
Also firing. Yeah, it was, mate, I can only imagine. Now that I've got a few kids myself, it would have been pretty hectic. But mum was a stay-at-home mum for most of my life until I got to high school. She ran a good, tight, ice up a household. Like, she was, disciplined and made beautiful meals. So yeah, we had a lot of fun. We all love sport. Like, we all loved cricket, played soccer early days, and played footy. And yeah, it was just really nice. You can play 2-on-2 touch, man. Everything was 2-on-2. So we always get us foot. Yeah, like me and my brother were always on the same team, and my other brothers TK and Topper on the other team. So yeah, so that was really good.
Yeah, nice. And you touched on, your mum there making some really nice meals growing up, and I just think back to growing up in PNG and my mum doing the same. But it's so funny because all the PNG mothers, they are all different, but they all have the same sort of attributes, like loving, caring. They love to cook meals. They do sort of all the same things.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to hear that. And yeah, you just brought me back to me being at home with mum. Oh,
Yeah. Sit down, eat a bit of rice and curry or something. Yeah. Rice and bouillon.
oh, it's the best. It's the best. Yeah, and you touched on going to Morris there as well. For any of you who don't know, here in Brisbane, Morris is one of the good rugby union schools, I'd say. They're definitely up there. So what did your older brothers go through Morris as well, and that's why you went through there? How come you sort of went through school there?
So it was a funny one. My eldest brother, he went to St. Peter's. He did all his schooling at St. Peter's, all his high school.
Yeah.
I think he loved it. And then my two middle brothers, they only sort of went halfway through. It was a combination of just like St. Peter's is really expensive. And also we're living in a gap and traveling sort of 30 minutes to the west side rather than 10 minutes down the road to Ashgrove. Yeah, sort of became a bit of a better option for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm saving money and saving time in the end. And yeah, I think I got the I got the long straw. I reckon I did well.
Yeah, it's a really good school. I remember when we were at Naji, because we were in the boarding, so we would always, I don't know how they teed it up, but we would do stuff with the Morris boarders all the time, whether it was on a Sunday or Saturday, go over, take the bus, play a game of touch, and then come back. So that was my first introduction into your school. And I was like, oh, it's pretty good school over here, like lots of space, really nice fields. But then obviously when I met you and then got to know you, found out you went through Morris as well, and then made that connection to footy. Would you say that was, going to Morris, that was your first introduction to footy, or were you, in the juniors for league? Is that when it started for you?
Yeah, so spot on that. I played 3 years of soccer from I think 2 years under sevens, a year of under eights. And then I went and played at West Panthers over in Barden. Yeah, so that's where I first started playing rugby league. Yeah, I really loved rugby league. I think like all us young blokes I wanted to play for the Broncos,
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I played league, all through high school as well. And yeah, just obviously there was no rugby league at Morris. There was rugby union, and look, that's the next best thing. And yeah, so I started playing grade 8 and, figuring out the game a bit more, slightly different and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah. When did you sort of realize the footy's, this could be something that I, am good at and probably could go down that path? Like, was it sort of in league or union or early days or at high school?
Probably I'd say later on in high school when I started. I was pretty small, young and that, but then I started to develop a bit more when I hit sort of grade 10 and stuff. And,
Yep.
But it wasn't probably until probably in grade 12, man, where I thought I was actually, I thought the dream could actually be something. I always dreamt it, go to bed, dream of chipping and chasing like Bruno or something.
Put the socks on there for a game.
And so that was that was always in the mind, but yeah, then it sort of became a bit more real. Probably in grade 12, to be honest, because I didn't play a lot of junior reps and things like that. I played a few, but I didn't play like Queensland reps or anything like that. So yeah, I'd say grade 12, and then it also happened pretty quickly in grade 12, and that.
Yeah, it all tends to happen pretty quickly. Like we had David Mead on, and just this week spoke to Adam Toa as well. They both keep going back to that moment when someone watched their games, started to talk to them, and then next thing you know, it's like contract. They're flying at you, and I know that you went into the 20s system in Canberra, and had a great time down there. Like, how did that come about? Because obviously you were playing Union for Maris.
Yeah.
What happened there? Did an agent reach out to you? Did someone come and speak to you after a game, or was it through the league circles?
So yeah, it was a bit of both. I was playing, like Cyril Connell and Malmaninga Cups. Yes, I was playing those in the pre-seasons. Played 1 year of 16s and Cyril, and I played a year of Malmaninga. And I'd signed with the agent, I think, the start of my grade 12 years. That's that thing where I say, oh, maybe I am as good as I think I can be or want to be, And so I signed in, and then had a good year just in first rugby, and was lucky enough to play Queensland Schoolboys. And it was at that carnival I got a call from Melbourne Storm, actually, and maybe in hindsight should have gone there, but I got a call from them, and they were like, oh, we can offer you this contract for a couple of years. I think I remember saying, oh, I want it to be 3 years, but all amongst that, because I was at South Logan, we were still affiliated with the Canberra Raiders, and so they sort of kicked up a bit of a stink and said, no, you've been in our junior programs, and I had been on like one camp, I think, at that stage, and yeah, I ended up going with Canberra because there was like a few other boys that I'd already played Mal and Cyril Connell with.
Yeah, this made sense.
Yeah, so it seemed to be more comfortable. I didn't know anyone going down to Melbourne at that stage.
Yep.
And blessed mate. I got to go down, spend a few years there, and I got to pretend we were the big guys. So get to act like we're the NRL players, mate. But yeah, that was awesome.
How was that experience? Because I mean, Canberra, it's very, very cold. How was that for you? Going down there. Was there anyone who sort of, kept you in line and, stayed by you during that whole period?
Yeah, I was lucky because I was 17 when I moved down. They put you in a billet family at first.
Yeah.
Instead of having you sort of go and run amok. And yeah, I got along with my billet mother, and he's a good mate of mine now, the brother there. So yep. I think they were very good for me because I came from a loving household, and I was able to step into another one.
Yeah.
And also just from what Mum had taught me to be and things like that, I always try to be respectful. And I had to go. Part of the rules on 20s was you had to have. It's piss all, but like you had to work at least 20 hours, something like that.
Okay.
Or study.
Yeah.
I just chose to get into my apprenticeship. So I was, like between, we used to train a fair bit, and I'd work full time. So there wasn't much time for me to get into too much mischief and that.
Yeah.
And that, I really appreciated that. And that taught me a lot of balance. Routine. I mixed you up. Yeah. And that was good because I know I just had to get up, go to work. I'd usually have like a nap and then go to training at 4:30 and we finish at 7:30. So yeah, it was a bit of a grind, but it helped me grow up, and it was really, and it was a fun part of my life as well.
Yeah, it would have been a great experience because I think that was when you were at the 20s, you were still Holden Cup. Was that?
Yeah.
Was it that nice?
So it just swapped from Toyota Cup to Holden Cup.
Yeah. But you were still traveling.
Yeah.
NRL boys.
Yeah, so as I was saying before, we had to pretend it was the real deal.
Yeah.
We're going.
Yeah, because I remember watching, the Holden Cup. They'd always play this for the main team, and man, that would have been a crazy experience. But you go from Canberra, and then after all that, do you come back to Brizzy?
Yeah, so I had a pretty crappy year my last year of 20s. I just broke an ankle and I did my knee. Actually, I did a knee playing Brisbane PNG that year. I came back. Do you remember that?
That's right.
Yeah, that was Norse.
Yeah.
I did my ACL.
That Northfield, it's taken a lot of knee.
Oh yeah, few victims out there. So yeah, I actually came back right at the end of 2014 because my contract had expired, and I unfortunately didn't get play enough footy or play well enough footy to get a gig. So
Yeah.
I came back, had a year off in 2015 because I was just rehabbing the knee, and then I went back to South Logan, try and play some cup.
Yep.
And I only played about 8 games of cup in 2016.
Yep.
And thought my time was ticking. I thought maybe I should try rugby union again.
Yeah.
Thought I might be able to crack it. But yeah, that's sort of how it played out.
Yeah. And then, like you just mentioned it then, but we had Queensland PNG, which was I'd say a team that was formed by a few of the Papua New Guinea players in the rugby union space. We had a women's team, we had a men's team, and we would always play in the Queensland Rugby Union comp at the end of the year, say with Queensland Samoa, Queensland Tonga, Queensland Niue, and other teams, the Cookies as well. But that's probably, I'd say that was like the first time when I met you.
Yeah.
And you had just, I guess come over from, or come up from Canberra, and was jump ship from League to Union.
Yeah.
And then, so, that was just, that was a bit of a whirlwind that time, like playing there, even just being with all those people. Like, I didn't actually think there were that many PNG people in Brisbane to make two teams of, men and women. It was a crazy experience. But what did you think about that time?
It was good, man. Like, we had a lot of fun. It was great to get with other PNG people from different parts of PNG all playing the same game. And we'd play games and we'd go and have a little piss up and have a bit of fun, So it was always really, and we got a lot of the boys got closer there as well, and good friends, and and the footy was all right. You were stinking hot, but
it was always hot, and we had to tackle 120 kilo boxers, Samoans and Tongans, and
always the smallest team. But
we were up, and fastest. No one could tackle us. Skill, just skillful and fast. But the positive that came out of the Queensland PNG was that a few of us got to represent our country, whether it was PNG Pukpuks for the men or the PNG women's team for the girls. So that was probably, I'd say, what took our friendship to the next level. When we had that opportunity to go back home and had my debut, and then we got to go to Hong Kong and play in this crazy stadium, on top of high rises, and it's synthetic turf, and you're just like, what the hell is going on? But it still to this day, that's probably one of the most fun trips I've ever been on, with some of those boys, because they were you think this guy's a larrikin, you would nick those guys. But it was a crazy experience, because we had guys from, we had one guy from Goroka, straight from Goroka. We had a few guys from Daru. I think three of them. And then from everywhere else, like in Leh, we had about 5. A few from Leh. And then most of the other boys, Port Moresby, and then us, sort of Brisbane-based. But it was the funniest and most funnest time that I can remember, bro? What were your some memories from that tour?
Yeah, like it was good fun. We had a lot of fun too. So, I really like Hong Kong was crazy. I hadn't been to Hong Kong before and like that, and I know a lot of the boys hadn't been anywhere. So, bunch of freshies just roughing up in Hong Kong. Having training hard, doing our best. Like it was awesome. I think one of the highlights probably was just that first game against Russia. Actually, we absolutely got dusted, but we weren't.
Oh, it wasn't that bad. It was like they put 50 on us. But against Russia, they almost before then they went to the World Cup. They're all professionally contracted guys who are getting paid to do this. Whereas, come on, look at us. Like, nothing. We weren't getting paid to do anything. We didn't even get paid to go there. Like, we just, because of the love for the game and the love for representing our country and our family and our people, we wanted to be part of that PNG Pukpuk scene, which is why we got on the plane and went there. And, when you're standing out there and the national anthem comes on and everything's running through your mind, you're thinking of your family and tears are falling down your face. Like, that's when it all hits. And then the kickoff goes and then, this big Russian roid muncher is running at you. Yeah, that'd be juice. Yeah, right, yeah, boys. Yeah, so
there was probably literally just before we went on, the boys are all up, man. Everyone was up, like emotions were running high. The boys were just keen as to get out there, and I think we were getting held up a little bit, and so then the boys were all just singing, and then we just kept on singing. I'm getting goosebumps now. We kept it and then we sang the ones we normally sing, and then it was like, I'll go again. And then we just kept on singing. We were nearly singing as we walked out, and then we stood there and sang the national anthem, and that was a really cool moment, and I won't forget that. That was awesome.
Yeah. So we won't worry about the scoreline, but it was a really good game, and then we went and played. We played Hong Kong next, and then Zimbabwe to finish. But man, I just look back at that whole tournament, and I think just the experience with the guys, on our off days when we were, whether it was going down to breakfast and eating breakfast and then making jokes, or just being in the room and stretching, getting ready, but boys are going in and out of each other's rooms and you're just amongst them. For some of these guys, it's their first tour to anywhere, first rugby tour anywhere. Whereas us being here, we sort of exposed to that, and for them it was their first time, and you can just see how happy they were to be in Hong Kong and in nice hotel. These guys come from villages and stuff, and they're there, and it was always it's good boys. Although our SNC coach, he had to tell the boys to stop eating too much at the buffet. I guess on a buffet, but so it was this Hong Kong buffet, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you had all the options in the world. There was sushi, everything, rice, always rice. They smash that. So the boys are just especially the props, the big boys, just one. The whole plate was rice, and another plate meat, and then another sushi. And it's boys, we're playing in one day. We're carb loading. But those are the experiences of a lifetime. Yeah, and you'll never get those back, but they're just really good memories. But for you, after coming back from that, I sort of pulled away from the rugby union circle. So there's a bit of, gap or time between then and now, where we haven't sort of seen each other for a while. But, I have been seeing how, you set up your own business, how that's going. Also now with Jeeps, I've seen a few highlights of this guy, and I'm like, this guy's back again.
Can't stop it.
Yeah, can't stop. He's back, and that little video of the under the legs pass, man, that was that was a really nice flick. But tell us about that period. Obviously, we had your partner and your wife on, Elizabeth, and she spoke about helping you out with the business and also figuring things out along the way there. So tell us a bit about how that has been for you, but also being a husband, being a father, and tying all those things together.
Yeah. It's I guess in that time since we got back from the tour, I was playing at Jeeps because I was hoping there was another tour coming, so I was trying to fine tune my craft there, so that we could be best versions of ourselves for the Pukpuks in the future. Unfortunately, didn't come. It's life, isn't it? Yeah. So I just kept playing at Jeeps for a while. Got married to my wife in 2019, which was really nice. And and then by 2020 is when we had our first kid, Eden. So man, it sounds like can't believe how quickly we just scooped through those years, But from 2020, it's been more about that word, more about balance. I've been trying to figure it out from there. Obviously, it was a bit easier, and it just won, and Laps wasn't working as much then, or part time. Yeah, she was off with Pete and that, so a bit easier to do. I think I stepped out and I started my business in 2019, but I was doing it on the side, so it was pretty busy. But again, ended up making extra money doing it after work. I was employee at a electrical company, and then would have been by 2021 is when I took the step out and started doing it on my own. And so I just sort of started getting busier, and add another kid in 2022, little Gracie, and and then we get to here, but it's I'm like literally in the last month or so I've been sort of wrestling with the idea of my dreams for what the business will be and what it will sort of provide for us and the family, and versus being a nice present father in my 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and nearly 1-year-old's lives. So it's been heavy on my mind trying to figure out how I can be a better version of myself to my kids, because I give a lot of myself to the business, because it's still sort of in its infancy. It's still early. But I suppose the hope is that it'll turn into something, but I'll still be able to spend time with my family and my wife, and we were lucky enough to go, and I was pretty much coaching my young fella's soccer team today. Oh, really? His first game of under-6 soccer. They get the win? No, they're horrible.
I think it's some Russians, I think. That makes sense. So
They're all juiced up.
Yeah, they're juicing up to 6. Unbelievable. So it's those few years I've just been playing footy. I've bounced around, I made doing that work and keeping the kids happy as the days go quick and that.
Yeah, I think that really ties back into your word of the week and in balance. Like even just now, I was talking to Aiden Toa, and we spoke about the challenges. Everyone thinks the challenges are always the big things that you're gonna face, whether it's something that pops up, but the actual challenge is it's in the everyday things and how well you do them, and then how consistent you are with doing those things, because that's how your goals or your dreams or whatever, that's how they start to compound. If everything else is aligned in your sort of 1%ers, like how we always call them in footy, then that the 100%ers will come if all those little ones are ticked. So I think even just you saying that, you're sort of the last month figuring out how to be more present, but also grow your business to a level where you can sort of step away from it and it'll do its own thing. It's like, in a sense, it's like us here at the Uncles, like, because me, Jackman, Charles, we all work our normal 9 to 5, and then there's, you know, juggling this and trying to get it to a level where, you know, it's self-funded, it can do its own thing, but, you know, it's something that we're proud of and we can represent our people and sort of do its own thing. But it just comes back to your word, balance. And if you balance it correctly, then everything's gonna fall in line. But look, to finish off, bro, we always ask this to all our guests of the Uncles Podcast. You know, is there any sort of advice you have for, you know, maybe it's a little Jono out there who's, you know, coming up through the ranks, or, you know, just any sort of PNG kid, or any sort of younger kid out there?
I don't know if I'm a good guy to give advice, but no, I think, man, like, I talk about with my wife and about our children, I talk about like complete surety in yourself, like understanding and like genuinely backing yourself, because people who know me might think, might think I'm a bit arrogant and things like that, and I probably am, but thanks bro, appreciate that. But like at times when I needed to completely back myself in situations, I'd be withdrawn, you know, or you get a bit nervous. I'm talking like all of my life, I usually relate to football and stuff like that because that's all I played. So like times, you know, if I'm not the big fish in the team, when I'm not running the show, I shrink. You know what I mean? When you need to still be willing to express yourself, and that way you can, you know, play your best footy or work your best work, and be the best version of yourself. So yeah, I like, if you're a kid and you got a dream, don't worry about what other people think. Just go for it, you know, like, and genuinely go. Like, put all your eggs in that basket and go at it, rather than you know, holding a few back just in case and things like that. So that's probably what I want to teach my kids, is to actually believe in yourself and know that no real bad's going to come out of it. You know what I mean? Like, you might not make it, but at least you can say you had a crack, rather than a half crack and I'm not, you know.
Yeah, so man, I love that so much, because even with the podcast, you know, 2 years ago we just kept putting it off, dropping the first episode, but we were only putting it off because we were scared of what other people were going to think of us. That we were like, oh man, like people in PNG, they're going to say this and that, like these guys are in Brisbane, they're talking about Papua New Guinea. And then we dropped the episode, and then, you know, we had so much people reach out and they were like, oh, can't wait for the next one, and you get all of this. So, you know, to your advice there, you don't really know until you try. And, you know, whether or not you fail, it doesn't really matter, because if you do, then on to the next, who cares?
Yeah.
If it doesn't fail, then, well, now we got something. So, bro, thank you so much. From the Uncles, from myself, Jacqueline and Charles, appreciate you coming on and talking to us.
Thank you, brother. Last little note, C10 as he now goes by, old Charles, Chuck Cheese. He was actually a DJ at our engagement as well as our wedding. So that's a good little nugget there, even though he's not here. I'll look it after his kid. Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it.